Imagine for a moment the year is 2035 and there are no more American muscle cars anymore. In fact, everybody thinks a cool car is a car that you have to download an app and purchase a high performance package for thousands of dollars. There are no more cars that sound like this one. There are no more cars that just use a 6-speed manual transmission. There are no more cars that have that smell of oil or gasoline. I'm not saying innovation is a bad thing or the EVs are a bad thing, but I for one would like to retain just a little bit of that classic piece of automotive history. So that's why I plan on keeping my GT350 for the years to come. If you're interested in my experience and why you might want to buy an American muscle car right now, stay tuned. Looking at the Ford Performance GT350 Mustang. This is a 2019 in Ford Performance Blue. It has the white racing stripes that are vinyl. It's not painted on. I don't believe any GT350 came optioned with the painted on stripes. Of course, that's something you could custom do. We'll just start from the rear here and work our way around. You got the classic S550 body style of the Mustang that was introduced back in 2015. But there are a few little differences. As you can see, there's these functional side vents here with a cool indentation along the body, kind of giving it more of a sleek, sportier look. You don't have a Cobra, but you do have the GT350 badging here, unlike the GT500, which has a Cobra. The GT500 also doesn't have these vents. You do have a puddle light under the mirror, so at night it'll project Cobra logo on the ground, which is kind of cool. Again, they put a lot of detail into this car. Ford Performance did. You have 6 and 9 piston, very large brakes with the brake pads, discs, a very robust braking system for a performance vehicle, and the brakes, they work remarkably well. You have the standard on the GT350, the Michelin Sport Cup 2 tires, very sticky, very adhesive to the pavement. That's a great thing, not so good in the rain or water though. So if you are daily driving this and using it in a rainy condition, just make sure you switch that drive mode to wet and slippery. It's going to help compensate for all of that. The previous owner of this vehicle, again, they took great care of it, but they did swap out the tires, so I'm not running with the Sport Cup 2 tires. I have the Pilot Super Sports on this backside and some Continental everyday tires on the front. You have 305s in the back, 295s up front in terms of your tire size, so a little wider of a tire in the back. Your classic Mustang tail lights for the S550. You have this rear hybrid wing back here. A lot of people opt to put a gurney flap on it, which is, you can see these little rivets here. You can pop in a gurney flap, which is a little lip that sticks up about 1 inch or 2, giving a little more downforce. The classic GT350 badging on the back there. There's no pony, there's no Mustang, it's a snake, distinguishing that this vehicle is a Shelby. Back to your tires. You have this quad exhaust, very aggressive quad exhaust on this rear diffuser here. You have your reverse light. This is more of a facade. You can see your dual exhaust in there. This is just a cover, kind of showing the exhaust tips. Again, completely replaceable if you get in like a little, you get your back end scraped up somehow. One thing I don't like, all the rocks get kicked up right in here. You can see right there, that little plastic covering, so much gravel and rocks right in there. rear backup camera. Got some nice side skirts here. They look really clean. One thing you'll want to do when you get your GT350 is consider putting some little foam inserts right here. These really sticky tires, especially the Cup 2 tires on my previous model, or my previous Mustang, they would kick rocks all down this. And even these everyday tires still do the same thing. They'll kick rocks all down this. And so I put these little foam inserts to help prevent that, and then also help protect the paint right here as well, because I don't have any protective coating on the paint yet. Back to your Brembo brakes, very aggressive. I kind of like to joke with the headlights here, looking like the shark fins or the gills, but really cool looking LED headlights. Back to your front badging. Side marker lights. I said I wasn't going to do much in terms of changing anything, but I would change these out just for something looking a little more sporty or cool, but they still look good. Your Shelby badging or name on the front splitter here on the GT350R, and I've seen some 350 owners replace this front splitter with something a little more aggressive that sticks out a little further, giving you a little more downforce, but I'm not that serious on the track, so I'm not going to worry about that. One bad thing about the splitter is any speed bumps or low angle descents will scrape up your front lip here. But the good news is it is completely replaceable. So maybe every couple of years you just replace it. Might not be a bad idea to have one or two of those in a storage locker or something. Now we get to the real deal. Look at that engine, just massive. So powerful, sounds so good. Built with pride, and you have the signatures of the guys who manufactured this, just giving a really showcasing there. I know it's all technical in nature, but the artistry behind all of this is just incredible. Pretty easy to do your own maintenance, oil changes. Again, you can save yourself a little bit of money because the oil changes with that synthetic fuel, 10 quarts. It's not cheap. Running about 150 bucks or so. That support strut right there with the Ford Performance logo. Here's the air intake, which I replaced. The stock ones are yellow. I got this blue one, not because of the color, but because this is reusable. It's a little more robust too, giving you a little cleaner air. Supposedly a little more horsepower, not really much at all, but you can reuse this and wash it, which is nice. And it's just a little more robust than the one that comes stock. One thing I would say about this, I don't like this as much. I mean, I get it, it's a classic hood situation where you're propping your hood up, but I would have liked to see stock, the hood struts that come and just automatically open your hood. Oil dipstick down there. Engine coolant, windshield wiper, fuse box, battery. One thing I will say, I did put some tint on this. I would highly recommend tinting your side windows. Just gives it a really nice look, and also it's for comfort too when you're driving on sunny days. Your rear light right here, which they've really nicely, seamlessly integrated into your back windshield here, gives it a really sleek look from the rear. And then some Mustangs, I'm not sure why they did this, but they have a fin instead of a puck. I would much rather have the puck because it just gives a much cleaner look to the side profile of the vehicle as opposed to having a 2 or 3 inch wing sticking up. Overall, again, like I said, there are sexier cars out there, faster cars, but I love the looks of this car, and it fits in just about anywhere. Like I said, you could go to a nice valet at a hotel with this car, or go to a track event racing other muscle cars. So it's a very versatile car in terms of looks and use. My wife and I will take this out on date nights often, once a week, once or twice a month, and we love doing it. It's a lot of fun. Let's take a look on the inside. You get in, you know, the Ford Performance logo there. I wish I'd bought this thing new so I could have gotten that Ford Performance Racing School thing for free, but that's something you can also purchase. I think it's a weekend in North Carolina. You can go on the track and they give you some schooling using this thing in a high performance manner. You can see we got some of the factory plastic on this still. The previous owner didn't take off. I still have the window sticker. Alright. You've got a very comfortable feel in here. Excellent visibility. I like the snake that just stares at you while you're driving. I'm glad they didn't opt to put GT350. They just put the snake right there, which is really nice. Again, reminding you that you're in a Shelby, if that means something to you. Analog drive cluster, which is nice. I think I would have been a little disappointed in retrospect if this was some like digital display. I like having that old school look of the tachometer, the speedometer with your fuel gauge and your engine temperature. Then you do have an information screen in the center there, which gives you a digital speedometer along with a few other things. I just mainly use the digital speedometer, but you do also have track apps, which can give you things that will help you on the track that I've used once. Carbon fiber trim. Some models have more of a metallic silver trim, but this is the carbon fiber, which I like. I like them both, but either or is fine. Some cars have, you know, they look great on the outside, not so good on the inside. They look cheap, they look plasticky. I think Ford Performance has done a really good job at making sure that this just looks solid. I mean, there's not like cheap moving plastic parts. Everything just feels solid. That's not the case with other cars I've had. So again, the attention to detail is just great here. You have a nice information screen here, mainly for your navigation, calling somebody. You have Ford Sync, so you can easily set up your phone calls in here. If you have the valves open down here, you're not going to be able to hear anybody, which is a good thing. So, you know, my wife and I, we don't ever listen to music or talk when we're in the car together because I have the valves open and we just listen to the engine roar, which is nice for a 20-minute trip to a restaurant or something, or a track. You have your chassis logo right here, which is nice. Kilo 0252. You have some standard garage door opener. I haven't yet synced mine to it, but I plan on doing that soon. Some lights, nothing very exciting there. Power locks, power windows on both sides. You have, in the technology package, heated and cooled seats on both passenger and driver side. You have your cool engine and engine start, I should say, engine start-stop. Hazard lights, your traction control, which you'll want to turn off if you're on track mode. It'll add to your performance overall. You have your launch control, which is cool, even for a manual transmission. And you have your valve mode for normal and then sport. Sleek but standard AC and climate control settings. And then interestingly enough, even on a 2019, you have a CD player. I plan on making like a mix CD and just leaving it in here just for nostalgia's sake, old school sake. Volume and tune. you have your glove box, and inside your glove box you have another compartment with your user manual. And that's the nicest user manual I've ever had in a car. Back seats. For whatever reason, they included back seats. They're not very functional. You're not fitting anybody in here except kids, which is nice. I guess in my case, I have 3 kids, and so I can fit all 3 of my kids in here if I wanted to. They are a little cramped, even though they're fairly small kids, a 4 and a 10-year-old, and then my 13-year-old, 14-year-old can sit up here. You have a lot of trunk space, which is nice. My wife and I will go on a weekend trip, and we can easily fit our suitcases back there. I normally have the seats just folded down, like this one here, and that allows me to hear the exhaust and engine sound a little better. Mainly the exhaust, of course. And the only place you'll ever see the Ford logo on the GT350 is right up here, and on the wheel caps. Just some interesting note. Lighting controls here, and then something I haven't really seen another video talk about is a sunglasses holder right there. Or you could put a pocket knife or something cool in there. I just put my sunglasses in there. 3-pedal setup, which of course it's a manual transmission, throttle, brake, and your clutch. Not sure why I'm bleeding. Yeah. Now to the fun part. Your manual transmission, Tremec 6-speed. This is what makes this car. And I'm glad to see manual transmissions still exist these days for high-performance cars. Your e-brake, as an e-brake should be. And a small compartment for whatever. I hold my Easy Pass in there because I don't want to mount it. I take a lot of photos of my car, so I don't like that showing in the windshield. And then you have a little cigar, whatever thing, cigarette lighter. I don't smoke. And a pen holder. Nice.